It just started. Okay. Hi. My name is Andrea, and this is High Literature, a program where I introduce books and comics and stories and art and all that good stuff to you, the viewer. I'll be right back. Cleo wanted to come out. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hi, baby. Come here. Yes. Hello. Hi, sweetie. It is so nice out, so I thought I would do this video outside. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. A friend of mine, a new friend of mine, well, it's been over a month now, but I made a new friend recently, and she lent me, she's really into indie comics, so it's just been wonderful. And she lent me a whole bunch of comics, and I lent her a whole bunch of comics, and I've been reading, going through. There's still quite a few things of hers that I haven't read yet, but I wanted to share what I have read because they're awesome. Let's see here. So I had been dying to read these for a while now. The Paper Girls. These are so fun. I can't wait to read the rest of them. And she also lent me this. Hi. It's called Welcome Back, and I just have this one. This came out 2016. I wonder how many more there are. I would love to, so this is volume 1, and I would really like to get more and reread all of them together at the same time. If there are 3 more volumes, I want to read these 4 again, and then these 4 in conjunction with each other, because the stories, they both have time travel involved, and it's hard to explain. They feel like companion pieces. And so let's see here. So the Paper Girls, it's interesting. I had no idea what these comics were about. I was just really curious about them because I keep seeing, them pop up on my radar, and I really liked the art. But they are, as it turns out, they're literally delivering papers. But the thing is that happens for the first few pages, and that's it. So it starts off, oh my god, it's so freaky. This interesting thing is happening, and we're not going to show that. It's really violent and awful, but it turns out that she's dreaming, and it's early in the morning. She's got it marked on her calendar. It's Hell Morning, November 1st, and it's her first day on the job of being a paper girl. And it's the morning of November 1st, so there are still kids out, not trick-or-treating, but just getting into trouble, and they're harassing her. And then these other paper girls pull up and help her out, and introductions are made, and then things get weird. And they talk about the weirdness, like, what do we, have an encounter with the police, an unhelpful one, as always. And they go into, it's, I find this, and this is basically the end of the paper girls, like as far as like being paper girls. Things just get crazier and crazier and crazier, and they get into this altercation, these people speaking this bizarre language. She gets rescued by her friend. Guys, they run off, but they drop something. What do they drop? This. So, yeah, so this is set 1988. And it's just crazy. It's so crazy. I've read this a couple times. I mean, the art is so fun. And so like this guy here, there are other people like him. And the way they speak, like he calls them scruddy teenagers. Like this is how they speak. They're from the future, and I just think it's so, I get such a kick out of reading how these people talk from the future. They're driving. She's like, brakes, stop. And I see this guy, and she's like, I'll try talking to him. And like, it's just so clever. I love it. I think it's so funny. And then we get to this character. Guys, this comic is bananas. And we have this whole exchange. And this is, you know, we're halfway through book 1. I can't wait to read the rest of this series. It's, oh my God, this part's so cool. So it looks like a beholder. I mean, right? They come across this monster, and it gets a hold of one of the girls, and what happens next when she gets rescued. And then she talks about it. She's like, my life just flashed before my eyes. And the girl and the friend's like, no shit, but we're okay now. We have to keep, and he goes, no, I mean that when that thing touched me, I started like reliving my past, and it was hell. Most of it was just me playing the same dumb game. I don't even think I liked it that much, but now I realize I basically wasted my entire existence God, I can still hear it. I can still hear that crappy music. And it's just, this book is wild, and it's funny, it's unpredictable. I kind of want to show you how the first volume ends, but it's a big spoiler, so I won't. But these books are fun. I definitely would. You guys need to read Paper Girls. I can't. I've read through these twice, and it's phenomenal. Now this one is called Welcome Back. So the Paper Girls series, these are Image Comics. Got good old Brian K. Vaughan, Cliff Chang, Matt Wilson, Jared Fletcher. Beep, 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 beep. This is a Boom Studios graphic novel. Hi, Cleo. Hi. Hi, baby. So, this is not a love story. Molly and Tessa have lived hundreds of lives. Reincarnated throughout time, friend and foe are caught in a war so endless that neither side recalls what they continue to fight for. Until now, Molly, an aimless 20-something girl living and temping in Kansas City, is flooded with memories of her former lives. Memories that will fuel her for the battle ahead and finally give her life purpose. Tessa, on the other hand, is ever the diligent soldier, out for blood and hot on young Molly's trail. And IGN describes it as punk rock mixed with a hyper-violent kung fu movie. And that is a very good way of putting it. So I had absolutely no idea what I was getting to when I was reading this, just like Paper Girls. I just dove right in, sight unseen. And it just sucked me right, and the art is so cool. So this is the first page. If you open it, and it's this, and I'm reading it, and I mean, immediately I'm just reminded of Shogun, so I'm just, of course, loving it. And then you turn the page and we've got the splash page here, and I mean, and then you can see in the corner here, and then we move on and we find out who this person is, who's like having these really intense, violent memories, it seems. At this point, you don't know if it's, dreams or what, it's. And you come to find out, like, as you're reading this opening intro, that she is living in a new city, under a new identity, just starting her life over. And it's because her father was just executed after it had been found out that he was a serial killer. So she's just trying to start a new life over in a new town where nobody knows her. Also trying to, like, escape from, stalkers and true crime fans, and it's just a really interesting intro. She has a dog named Showtime, and he's her best bud. She has like one friend, and it's just basically like kind of going through like the mundanity of her life and then while at the same time, there's the other character who is, I guess we'll say, not asleep, but she's because it turns out that this character, she is, we'll just say, asleep. And it's so trippy. They're basically, it's hard to talk about it without spoiling it. The way the blurb on the back does a good job. It's these two people, they've been reincarnated throughout time, and they're out to kill each other, but one is still, you know, just like living her day-to-day life, and, you know, she hasn't woken up yet. And it just, but it's a lot, there's a lot more going on than that. It gets pretty, oh yeah, that's right. And then at one point, and it's so abrupt, it's like the way the art changes, it goes from, I mean, we have like this art here, and then you can see, and then it just changes, like right in the middle of the story. It's so interesting. I've never seen a comic do that before. See how different that is? And I like it. I like how they did it just mid-story, like mid-issue. It is a very violent comic, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me, like, I remember the first time I saw a trailer for Inglourious Basterds, and I was like, it just looked like it was just nothing but gore and gratuitous violence. And then I actually watched the movie, and I think I ended up watching it like 3 times in a row. And of course, Inglourious Basterds is very violent, but it's warranted by, like, it makes sense for what's going on in the story, and that's how it is with this comic. It's very, very violent. But it works for what's happening in the story. It's so cool, like, as these two characters are like getting closer and closer to meeting again, they'll have like they'll tie in like these little flashback scenes where they show where they encountered each other in past lives, like here, and this is like and it's like interspersing it within what's going on in present day, and then that's like another reincarnated version. And it shows like how past battles have gone down. You know, it's all like cyclical, and just how it just happens, you know, over and over again, but with slight variations, which I really like, because I very much feel that's how life works. It's just, I think I've talked about it before, it's like, I call it symmetrical chaos, and it's like when you think of a kaleidoscope pattern, and how, you know, the patterns, they're generally the same, but they're all different. And then when you get down like to the, like, you know, the individual pieces, they're all different. They're all going to be different all the time, every time, but still like the same, you know. Cleo, hi. Oh, you're such a sweetie. You're such a sweetie. Yeah, this is a really fun comic. I've never really read anything like this before. Here's a good, it's like, these are all this is them, like the 2 main people, and these are all the people that they've been before in the past, and all the people they've been before in the past, and, you know, like they're facing off each other once again. And oh, I just love it. When it finally happens, it goes down at the drive-in. Always the dramatic conclusions. You never change, do you? It's so good. And the way it ends, oh my God, I can't wait to see. I get it. I can't wait to read the next books. This is like one of the variant covers. Yeah, I want the first 4. And I want to reread the first 4 Paper Girls books and the first 4 of these books. It's cool. I like it a lot. Welcome back. It's a really good title for what's going on in the story. So, yes, these are good. These are wonderful. Get them, read them, enjoy them. Yes. Another one, so pretty big book, and I actually went through it quicker than I thought. It really just sucks you in. This came out, Blankets by Craig Thompson. Top Shelf Productions, Marietta, Georgia. 2003. My goodness. It's an autobiography, and it's intense. God. It's just so, like the opening story is about like how he and his little brother, you know, they're in bed and they're fighting with each other, and the dad comes in, and it's just this whole thing where he like breaks them up and grabs the youngest one and makes him sleep in this thing called the cubby hole. And it's just so, and then it rolls right into like the very next story is like talking about how they were sexually abused by a babysitter at a very young age. So I'm reading this like, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's just so, it just reminds me of so much, you know, of people that I knew growing up, myself, and the more I'm reading this, just the crazier and more, and it's again, it's the kaleidoscope pattern of how like there are just so many things, like patterns, they're the same, but they're different, but they're the same, but they're different. And it was just fascinating reading about and knowing that, you know, it's not even, you know, it's autobiographical. This is about his actual life. He grew up like on a farm. Like here he's talking about like, you know, rock picking. And his family had him very involved in the church and going to like church camps and stuff. And it was just so bizarre, like reading about how like he really took to it, you know, was like staying up late in his bunk to like read the Bible and just really, really embraced the church life, even though he still felt like an outsider. Like there's this part where, because you know, he was always just like picked on real bad and bullied at school. Like he's just getting beat up by kids and just hating himself, and then he goes, you know, he's being made to like go to these church camps and stuff, and he says, let's see here, like how painful it is being like, it's one thing to be like rejected at school by like, you know, just jerks and bullies and stuff, but then you go to where, you know, you feel like everybody's just going to be nice to you, and they're not. Where did it go? I just saw it. Like it was just Cleo. But yeah, and for me, it was the opposite. Like I definitely got bullied at school, but church was worse. And it was just so fascinating to me that he, even though he was bullied there too, he really just fell into this lifestyle. Yeah, something about being rejected at church camp felt so much more awful than being rejected at school. And despite that, he really, really, really gets into the church. And then he meets this girl, Raina, at church camp. And she invites him to stay with her and her family for a trip while they're still in high school. And that part really surprised me. Like, and I guess, because you know, what parents are gonna let a boyfriend and girlfriend come over and stay? I mean, I've never known any parents that would ever do anything like that. And then I guess, you know, I wonder if it's because they were both so churchy, and they just kind of, by, you know, just assumed that everything was gonna be like chaste. And I mean, I guess they were right, because it was. This is not what I would call a sexy book, although it is sensual. And I mean, there is nudity. Like, I'm looking at boobs right now. So, I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen, but it's not what you would think would happen when you put two teenagers alone together. I really enjoyed this book. Hi, hello. The art is great, and I'm sad I didn't, like, I'm only now reading this. Like, I think this would have been a huge comfort for me if I had come across this, if I had read this earlier in my life. Particularly, like, if I had read this when it came out, oh my God, this would have been like my favorite book for a really long time. Because it's just so interesting seeing like a different version of somebody who grew up in like a rural area and was made by parents to like be very active in church, And he fell out of it later in life, I'd say in his early 20s, like in college. But for me, that happened way earlier. I was 12 when I was just like, this is just a bunch of hypocrisy and I can't stand you people. And I wonder if it's because, well, I'll just keep that to myself. It's probably true, but it's a sad truth, so whatever. Hi, you're just little prancy pants, huh? You're just little prancy pants. But yeah, I really like this book, and I really like the art, and it's, let's see here. A first love story so well remembered and honest that it reminds you what falling in love feels like. It's achingly beautiful. In this story of family and first love, that which goes awry in life goes well as art. Mr. Thompson is slyly self-effacing as he bowls us over with his mix of skills. His expert blending of words and pictures and resonant silences makes for a transcendent kind of storytelling that grabs you as you read it and stays with you after you put it down. I'd call that literature. Thompson's graphic novel debut, Goodbye Chunky Rice, that's the book that the girl who lent me these books, she really wants to lend me Goodbye Chunky Rice. And it was his debut novel in 1999, was a delicate parable of loss that garnered deserved acclaim. This eagerly awaited follow-up to it is more ambitious, more accomplished, and more accessible. This is a genuine graphic novel with a universal appeal. I love this piece here. So this. I think out of everything that I've read, so I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite. This is Sounds of Your Name. It's by Nate Powell. This book collects the work of Nate Powell, frontman of pizza theater punk band Sufi Nun Squad. His zines, comics, and first two books, Tiny Giants and It Disappears, are all reprinted here. Intricate, sometimes chaotic drawings examine the complications that come with passing from childhood into adulthood. Renderings of friends and family scattered across the country paint tender, sweaty, and memory-soaked portraits of small-town life and beyond. Nate addresses the uneasy existential inquiries that bloom in youth and invokes all the elements of great coming-of-age novels with only a few dozen words. He captures that most elusive thing that disappears with age: wonder. If most people spend their entire lives longing for past episodes from their youth, then Nate addresses that longing, covering his pages with lost wonder and offering it wholeheartedly back to us. His work offers the hope we might never grow old, and that even if we do, our dreams are always within reach. The power of his work is a reminder of the persistence of joy. I like that. Frame by frame, his work is more varied in every way than that of most other comics artists, yet he unfailingly maintains narrative momentum by carrying over details from one panel to the next, no matter how altered the angle of vision. Brilliant. The art in this book, okay, so this came out about 2006, 2007, published by Microcosm Publishing. But like some of these are from like 98. It looks like the oldest date is 98. Like, oh. I love this book so much. He was born in 1978 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Spontaneously began reading out of a fantastic pro-activity book in Montana in 1981. Began self-publishing his own zines and comics in 92. In 2000, he graduated from the School of Visual Arts. He lives in Bloomington, Indiana, where he eats many breakfasts and sighs a lot. Since 1999, he has worked full-time for adults with developmental disabilities. Nate also sings in pizza theater band Sufi Nun Squad and manages DIY punk label Harlan Records. Stress, real and imagined, builds in his neck and shoulders. Nate does not eat meat, but drives way too much. I just love the art in this book so much. Like, there's just... Kitty. This is like one of the greatest kitty stories I've ever read. I love it so much. Frankenbones. I love these guys. They're great guys. You guys, you gotta get this book. It's so good. I love it. It's so good. The art, the writing, all of it. It's amazing. Considering that's just this anthology collecting a bunch of random stuff, I figured just let the work speak for itself. And it's just such a beautiful book. Like what I'm seeing here, and then when I see it, when I hold it up to the screen, I mean, there's so much lost. You just gotta get it and just hold it in your hand and see it for yourself. It's wonderful. I don't know, this might be my, like I wanna say this one's my favorite so far, but I really like the other ones too. But you know, just for their own reasons. They're all so different. So yeah, I have a few more things that she lent me that I haven't read yet, but you know, we're getting through them. I ordered this big pile of books, and funny story, I can't find them. I don't know where they are. I have a few of them because I have the ones that I was reading, but like the rest of the stack, I can't find them. I don't know where they went. So that's been an interesting mystery because there aren't many places they could be, but yeah, I can't find them. So yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. It is a beautiful day, and I just want to enjoy this day. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out, and we will reconvene again soon with the books that I got once I find them. And more comics. I got some stuff in the mail. Oh boy, I can't wait to share it. It's stuff I've never seen before, and I'm so excited. When I found them online, I was just like, I couldn't believe it, and just got them immediately. And they are here. I got them in the mail, and I haven't opened it yet. I'm gonna wait. So yeah, stay tuned. Bye.